Okay, let's start the operation. Actually, there's something I forgot to mention here. Maybe we skipped something. There is something similar to regular expressions in one of the blocks. Alright, now let me demonstrate it for you. Again, we define it here, our log type and this log actor. Then, in this type, we first define such a log. Obviously, we just need to use this macro. So here, we usually like to start the log with log. Let's call it log.xgsample. As for its level, we generally just give it a log. Okay, then, at this point, we need to create its implementation in the CPP file. Just write it like this, and make sure it's consistent here. This way, we have this log. Then we can use it. Then, in our actor, we write a method. Let's switch to another format. We should also write down catograph. Okay, then we'll create its implementation here. As for our logs, we usually just include them here, because header files generally don't need to log. Header files are usually just for declarations and definitions. Okay, after you get this log, within this method, obviously, let's output this log. Before outputting the log, we need to define another log. This log actually has something called static stats. You can search for it. We might need to search for it like this. Wait a moment, let's take a look at this. It should be this one, yes. Copy ideal solution is wrong. Okay. And he also uses our log, and we usually xgactor. There's a slight bug, but it should be fine. And it's also a log level 1. And oh, after defining it like this, let's play this one. Uvelog. Very simple. We'll just use this directly. Now we all hit a normal one. For Weber's 30, we give a lock. We may need to hit a lot here. I'll pause here for a moment. We avoid writing this code, taking up his time. I'll print them all out. Okay, we've actually already printed the logs for you. Please pay attention to this file. And here we use static. That is, we only use this log with this file. And here we have error, warning, display, logo, web, spatry. All extracted for you. Then if we pay attention, using this will cause a crash. Let it crash, it doesn't matter. Then where is this file? It is under this path. Under call in login, under public login. There is a log/verbosity, and as soon as you see it, this aspect describes the information for each of its levels. Yeah, this means that all is actually the bottommost field, and below these are all reserved fields. Then, actually, the information here and here is more or less the same. Then we'll just launch it directly. Then let's demonstrate it. Now, if we pay attention, you can see that in this. Let's check this log. You can see there is a lot of our debug information. Take a look. Okay, right here. Then in this log, hey, you can see, I don't know if you've noticed before, we will find our log here. We can see our log seems to be in, let me check. It seems I didn't see it. Let's ignore it for now. Okay, let's place it in this scene. Let's open this scene. Don't open the wrong one. Place an actor here. And here we have a method. Let's make it execute. We'll bind it to the keyboard. Okay, let's create a reference to it. We have a method here called xd, called log. Let's execute it here. Let's click it. Okay, it crashed. It should have crashed here. If you can see the log, you see it is already printed out here. It crashed here. Okay, it crashed. Then when it crashes, actually we go to our project. There should be a dump file. We find our project. Of course, after you package it, it will also generate this kind of dump file. You see, our log is actually supposed to be on the Savalog. Look here, let's scroll to the bottom. It's really a bit dense here. We can search for it at this point. See, right here. This is log, this is our static, and this is our simple. Error warning display, and then you can see that further down there is nothing. Because it is lower in level than the log, it was suppressed by that. A fatal error appears here. So this fatal error actually take a look at say log. This place seems not easy to find, because if it hasn't been packaged, this dump file is not easy to find. We will demonstrate when we talk about assertions, how to read and use this dump file. So here you can notice this fatal error. We should not use this level. This will cause our crash. Then we will restart it. Okay, we restarted here. Note that you should not start too many instances here. We started in standing mode. Starting one is fine. Then we started. We opened the wrong map again. I forgot to change it. Sorry. After it starts here, you will see that the log has appeared on our left side. Then we can see here, it should be able to filter it now. You can see it. This is the new log we added. But you can see it actually doesn't. So we can adjust the log level like this. This log should be called XG. It should be this level. We convert it to this. Let's check. It is called this name, LogXGSample, then Verbose. We convert it to Verbose. So let's check your Verbose. Okay, you can see actually our log level has been adjusted. It can already see the web of logs. So similarly, we convert it to verbose. See, it has also adjusted. Then we go and consult the methods inside here. On our end, we press this tilde key. That is, the one to the left of 1 can bring up the command console, you can see. So now we increase this level a bit. We set it to a varying level. You can notice it will only print logs at varying level and above. Actually, sometimes for convenience, you don't want to do this every time. You can do it in the BeginPlay section. There might be an exec console here. And here we enter this command. Then we can input LogXGSample simple. Then we adjust it to the display level. After the adjustment, we can see that when we use it again, it will be set to display. Then we can proceed to make a simple configuration in the .ini file. Yes, the configuration is also very simple. You go to this engine directory. You can see a Core.Log in the base engine. This log term warning, and of course this kind is commented out. This area is for displaying different levels. So it's also very simple for us. What do? We don't modify the base engine. If you change the engine, it changes everything. Obviously, we should do it this way. We find our project. Here we have a config. We have a default engine. This default engine. Let's see how it was originally written. It seems, let's put it at the bottom. It is written like this. call on edge. Then we change it to our own XGSample. Now we change it to this warning level. Now let's see if the effect is there. Okay, now let's restart it. Okay, after restarting, we haven't changed the map yet, so let's change it now. This map is mainly because sometimes I forget to switch it. It should be at our AO level, right here. Switching to this map will fix it. Okay, then we'll test it here. We haven't switched it here yet. Haven't switched the map yet. Okay, then let's switch to this log. This part doesn't seem to have taken effect. We might need to write it again. There might be a mistake somewhere. The reason it didn't take effect might be due to this part. Let's take another look. Then let's check our ini file. Whether it's being used properly. Good, it's working normally now. Actually, it wasn't working just now. The reason for this is that you have already manually adjusted it once. Because it is when your editor starts up, it will read these configurations in, and after you have manually adjusted it, then you need to adjust it back. So you will see that in our place, GEngine-Sample's output log level. Through configuration, we have changed it to the warning level. Actually, verification. Actually, re-verifying here is also very convenient. Let's change it to movie. But then it should actually be like this here. That's good. Let's start it up and check again. We haven't switched this map yet. It should be fine now. Let's switch it. You can see it's now at verbose. So this is how we modify the log through configuration. And then the log is roughly, that's basically how we do it. And sometimes you'll write all this stuff. Writing a long string, it's really inconvenient. So what do we actually do? We wrap it up with a macro. Like this, but if you encapsulate it through red, this ulogs red, there will be a problem like this. That is, you need to write it in a programmable form, which is quite annoying. So I suggest you don't do it that way. Just like this. Sometimes it increases the communication cost of our project. And another thing to note. Actually, if you click into this log, it actually defines a struct and then outputs it to your device. You see here. You'll see here is the data. Some information about the creation of these logos. Handrelay interviews one task this deep. He asked how this day output is done. This is too deep. You can roughly answer that. It has several levels. How do we define it? How to control it? That should be enough. The rest is relatively simple. We will demonstrate one. Demonstrate one call. Let's demonstrate some of these parameters. This was actually done earlier. Then LogXGSample is simpler. Okay, then let's create it. So in this place, we can do it like this using a variable parameter approach. We give it, for example, print 32 and a place with a low percentage, right? But you don't need these parentheses. I wrote them just for distinction. Then we can use an F and then an FString. And here, give it an S. Then another auxiliary point. Then we just give it an A. Then we can write 3 variables here. We simply assign a value to this variable here. Then we give this assignment. Also, a scene. Then we can just put this value in. Okay, so actually, like this log outputs the result. Actually, it seems like there should be no problem. And then sometimes I choose to write it like this. Sometimes I choose it like this. Let me demonstrate to everyone, step by step. I want to demonstrate, and here we can actually put a txt. Then in practice, we just copy this over. This part can be copied over. This directly forms a new piece of text. This is called 6T. Okay. Alright, after entering like this, we can just print it directly, no problem. Here, we give it a new to distinguish it. Alright, here we just give it an S. Okay, and then just pay attention to this quotation mark here. And sometimes I like to add which method it was printed from. We can directly type something like this. And here we directly use FString. This will increase our development efficiency to some extent. Okay, so let's take a quick look at what these three results look like, what they are respectively. I'll just set a breakpoint here, and then everyone can just look at the result. We've already hit the breakpoint here. Actually, you can see that. You can find that the result basically meet our expectation. But maybe for this floating point number, this display might be a bit off. We can adjust it like this. This is basically all C style. After we adjust it now, we directly enter the vector. You can see what effect it prints out. Then you will find that after we finish printing, actually, you can see it has already become like this, right? There should be no problem. Look at this printing method. So basically, we have demonstrated to you right here. If there is still some time, we will add some more for you. That is, if it is in a multi-threaded environment. How do we handle this log? I usually like to do it this way. For example, this actor object we have now, it may involve some asynchronous issues. Then we can do it in such a print log stream. Just print this log. We only need to accept one stream here. After accepting it, we assume we are on another thread, right? Yes, and actually, this method of ours, we usually don't put it here. We usually put it in the blueprint function library. I've mentioned it to you. Actually, sometimes we put the unified parts into this, put it in this position, put it in a class like this. Yes, okay, then after this log comes in, we can do it like this. We can just use this approach. It should be T. Okay, this debugging method is a bit special. We need to use a method called AsyncTask here. It should be called a method. And for this thread, we can make a selection here. This is actually an early preview for everyone, because this is the multi-threading we are about to discuss next. Okay, then here we need to perform a direct replenishment. Okay, here we are. The replenishment is for the value, right? There is no issue inside it. So doing it this way is also fine. Then here we are. We can have it pass this in. Here, we will add one for it. Okay, so like this way we can avoid some strange issues. This way we can call it from other threads. The reason for the error here is because a semicolon is missing here. Of course, as for your part here, you can also expose it. I won't make it too complicated here. We just need to pass this actual distance. And it is something we will cover later. It is a gable function. And in OSEC, this is a very useful thing. It actually utilizes the underlying mechanism of UE5. For example, when we want to execute some temporary one-time tasks, but there is absolutely no need to start another thread, or to recreate something, we can do it this way. After we press it, because we can see that the assay characters are also printed out normally, it does this by calling the main thread to print. Actually, they are not executed within a single frame. So how do we verify this? It's actually very easy to verify. You can see it. Let's mark this corresponding point. This side can't hit it, right? If it can't hit, forget it. Actually, this is executed in the next frame. So I can explain why it is executed in the next frame. For example, let's execute another segment here. Let's execute it once more. You will notice there is a 1 in the middle, right? Actually, this creates something like a queue. It throws this thing in, then executes it in the next frame. Actually, after this execution is done, it just places a task. And the daily asset does not print right now. Then after it executes, it actually returns to the blueprint. It should return to this position. Okay, good. This is some of the tips and usage methods for a daily asset in normal use. We will stop here for this lesson.